Welcome back to Valheim Hardcore, no death, no teleporter run. This is episode 4. Sorry for not getting this video out quicker, it's been such a long time. I've just been traveling for work, I was out of state, away from my PC. But we're back, and after defeating the second boss, I decided I wanted to stay at my base here and go ahead and do some mining, get some bronze, and maybe upgrade my gear. Before I head into the swamp, I want to get some good gear going, but I quickly found out there is 0 copper in the area. I was very disappointed. I don't really know what I was expecting. As you can see, this area is pretty small. So screw exploring this island. We're just going to go ahead and pack up the ship, pack up our inventory. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. My inventory looks the same as when I arrived. The only difference is I have the swamp key and the trophy from the second boss. I don't really know where I'm going, but I do know my first stop is back to the beginning, so I can turn in the trophy and get my second ultimate ability. The sailing was smooth, we made it back fine, and when we turn in the head, we look at the 2 ultimates. I'm gonna stick with the first boss ultimate. I think it's better than just faster woodcutting. Now we head back to the boat. We're gonna head north. I did see an island across the way. We're gonna stick to the coast there and cruise. We didn't see any swamp, so we surpassed that island and look toward the next northern island. Notice it is meadows, so we go ahead and hop out. We're gonna camp here for the night since it's nice and chill and peaceful. I hate sailing at night. Fresh day, we hop back in the boat and we're just gonna head west, north. We're just gonna ride the coastline. We do come up to this little channel, this narrow little channel where we see our first lick of swamp on the left and on the right. I was going to survey the area and see how deep the swamps go, but it started raining, so in fear of serpents, we doubled back to the swamp edge where there's a black forest. This should be an okay spot to make our base. Quick look at the total journey and a quick look at where the swamps are, north and west. On the ground, I think this little island is too shallow for a base, and over the rock, I don't like the size of that island. So we go a bit inland, and I have the perfect idea. Let's clear out the area first, and then get building our base on top of the skeleton cave. Yeah, I did this for a little bit extra protection. Being elevated makes it harder for the enemies to get to you, especially when you put a fence around the outside. But mainly I did this because it was fun, unique, something I've never really done before. I did get the idea from TikTok. I recommend trying this if you've never built on top of a structure or monument. It makes your base a little bit safer. As you can see, there is a gap between the floor and my base that you have to jump up on. This helps just in case enemies do break through the fence. They can't really get to my base. Onto the swamp, we head north. Let's go explore. We kill our first jogger, come up across a troll and an abomination. We're gonna let them duke it out until the abomination runs around like a fool. We eventually kill him, take his stuff, and bring it back to base. Nice little run. We didn't get anything too crazy, but the troll hide and root will come in handy for crafting and upgrading gear. The next day, we head right back into the swamp. We are determined to find a swamp cave so we can start mining some iron. Here's a little tip for anyone who's new. When you're in the swamp, always bring a hoe. When you're at a higher elevation and you level the ground, it actually raises it above the water to keep you safe from leeches. Exploring today was kind of a bust. I made it pretty far into the swamp, found out there's a plains on the border. As for the loot, it was kind of mid, nothing I immediately need. We're gonna go ahead and try again tomorrow. We hop back in the swamp, immediately find an abomination which goes down pretty quick to my flame arrows, find some random structure with nothing there, got jump scared by a death skeeto, which the blob ended up taking out. Then we found our third total abomination, which if you didn't know, they can't move through narrow spaces like you can. As you can see, I use these 2 trees to cheese them. Now this wasn't a bad haul. The main thing is I have plenty of roots. I can make some gear out of that. On the downside, I got desperate. I started scouring the island. I reached the other side where there's water. You know why? Because I searched this whole swamp and I didn't find a single swamp cave. There is no iron to be had on this little swamp plot here. I decided to explore the rest of the island. Couldn't find any swamp, so I ended up making my way back, killed a troll on the way home, crafted some root legs, and then upgraded them 1 time to level 2. The following day, I traveled across the water channel where I remember there was another small swamp plot. Hopefully there's more. I'm just gonna head north and check it out. And it was tiny, just as I had seen it on the boat, but as I went over the hill, I noticed a narrow little swamp channel, and I followed that all the way down, where it finally opened up into a larger swamp plot. There's an abomination, but we want to bypass that and just keep exploring more and more. I found another abomination and one of these jogger camps. Things did get a little sketchy. I lost a lot of health, so I decided to double back. I've come such a long way, but after no swamp caves, I think we need to just get back home. This is kind of a bust here. We might have to relocate again. As I get in my boat to go home, I notice there's a serpent blocking my path, so I go ahead and kite him to the beach where I'm at to safety, kill him, then grab his stuff, and scurry home. At this point, I'm frustrated. I load up my boat, waste no time, load up my inventory, which looks pretty much the same aside from a couple differences, and we decide to head out. We need to find a swamp that actually has some caves. As you can see, I'm moving up around the island, but I want to continue moving east, where I do see Hildir, the cosmetic vendor, but I have no money, and this island is barren, so we're gonna get back in our ship and keep moving. As we head east, we notice an island in the distance, and we go ahead and scout it out. We got lucky, it's a pretty big plot of swamp, so I head north of the Black Swamp. Just on the edge, there is a black forest. Found a nice little plateau where I could drop my micro base. I waste no time. I go with a pretty standard build here. The one thing I did do different on this micro base is drop down my beehives on the posts, as well as make a little garden so I could start getting some of that food up. I also dropped a little fence for extra protection. Hopefully this doesn't go to waste and I need to relocate. So the next day we head right into the swamp. I do find an abomination as soon as I enter, so I figure it's best to go ahead and kill some birds, get some feathers, get my fire arrows going. Just up north, there was a bird on the edge of the plains in the Black Forest, and when I killed the bird, a death skeeto came in from the plains and struck me hard. Boy, I skedaddled back to my crib, but it wasn't enough. The death skeeto came and ended my season 1 run of hardcore Valheim. Super sad, but you know we have to go again, right? Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Huge shout out to the Valheim community. You guys are super cool. Let me know in the comments if there's anything I could have done differently and will do differently for my next run. See you guys in season 2.